What's up, YouTube? Jeff, your Style O.G. And on today's video, I'm going to share with you 10 grooming mistakes you need to avoid in 2022. If you're new to the channel, we release a new video every Monday, Thursday, and Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern, discussing various men's lifestyle topics such as style, grooming, and dating. I invite you to subscribe, tap the notification bell, and join us. And to my returning friends like Max Troy, salute. Now there's a reason why grooming comes right after style in the tagline for this channel. Because just as much as you need to stay up on your style, your clothes, your shoes, and everything else, your grooming is just as important when it comes to making a good impression. And that's what I want to talk to you about on today's video. There's a few things when it comes to grooming a lot of guys overlook. I want to make sure you're not doing that in 2022. I'm going to talk about some of the more obvious and less obvious grooming mistakes men are still making. So without any further delay, let's hop right into it. First up on the list of the worst grooming mistakes guys need to avoid in 2022 is not moisturizing your skin at night before you go to bed. Now, a lot of you guys out there have probably already incorporated a daily skincare routine. Congrats on that. And it probably includes moisturizing your skin in the morning. But I want to make sure you're not neglecting to moisturize that skin before bed as well. The reason why moisturizing at night is so important is because when you're asleep, that's when your body in general and your skin specifically has the best chance to heal and repair. And one of the great things about moisturizing before you go to bed, while you're asleep, your daily activities and the elements can't interfere with the absorption of the moisturizer, making it much easier for your skin to get hydrated. So remember, yes, moisturizing your skin every day in the morning is very important, but it's just as or more important to moisturize at night to get maximum results. Now, for as long as I've had this channel and I've been advising guys to do it, there's a lot of guys who still make the mistake of not manscaping, especially below the belt. Now, a lot of guys say, hey man, I'm not manscaping, that's girly. But let me give you a little information. Over 80% of women prefer their man to be manscaped. So if the ladies like it on you, it can't be that girly. And it's most important to pay attention below the belt. Now, you don't have to manscape your groin area down to the bare skin. Just trim it low. If you want to go completely bald down there, be my guest. But below the belt is not the only area you need to pay attention to. Make sure you have absolutely no hair on your back or your shoulders. The shoulders and the back all the way down to the skin. Now, a couple of other areas to pay attention to that you don't have to go quite as low, the chest and the stomach. Just groom this low, but not completely bald. Just like dressing well shows you care about your appearance, so does manscaping. Take down the chest and stomach hair and below the belt and get rid of back and shoulder hair. Speaking of manscaping, I want to take a little time now to talk about today's video sponsor, Manscaped. Now, a lot of you guys are already familiar with Manscaped because of their best on the market below the belt trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0. But Manscaped over the last couple of years has developed a full grooming line, including the excellent product I want to talk to you about today, their ultra premium deodorant. It's an aluminum-free and stain-free deodorant that goes on easily with no grease, no residue, absorbs quickly, and dries clear with its quick dry property. Manscaped's deodorant does an excellent job of providing premium odor protection as it neutralizes and masks those underarm odors. And I love that Manscaped's deodorant comes with the same light, crisp scent you'll find in their refined cologne. Now, not only did Manscaped sponsor today's video, they've got a special offer for the Style O.G family. All you have to do is go to manscaped.com/style and you'll get 20% off your order and free international shipping. So if you're looking for a deodorant that dries easily, leaves no stains, and does an excellent job of neutralizing odor, look no further than Manscaped's Ultra Premium deodorant. Now, next up on the list of the worst grooming mistakes you definitely want to avoid in 2022 is one I can't emphasize enough. Make sure you're not wearing too much cologne. Now, I know I spend a lot of time on this channel encouraging you to wear fragrances. And if you do, great job. But please make sure you're not spraying on too much. Remember, you should reach the room before your cologne does. A lot of guys make the mistake of wearing so much it turns people off instead of bringing them in. Here's what I recommend you do with your favorite scent. All you need to do is spray it on a couple of pulse points. Your pulse points are places on your body that when you spray the cologne on, it emits the cologne out into the world. A few examples: behind the ear, base of the neck, or on your wrist. Pick a couple of pulse points and apply the cologne there. No more than that. And if you're wondering if you spray too much cologne on, you probably are. It's always better to err on the side of underspraying. Now, next up is an area that often gets overlooked, and if you do so, can easily get out of control. A lot of guys don't take the time to groom those eyebrows. You have to make sure you're keeping those eyebrows under control. And let me tell you, it's not that complicated. I recommend you keep two things in mind: no unibrow, and make sure your eyebrows are symmetrical. Let me give you a couple simple tips when it comes to grooming your eyebrows. First, brush your eyebrows up towards your forehead. Any hairs that remain sticking out above your brow line, snip those off. Then brush the hairs back down. Then what I recommend you do, make sure you tweeze in between your eyebrows to remove any unibrow. Remember, the key things to keep in mind: no unibrow, and make sure your eyebrows are even from side to side. We're staying on some neglected and overlooked areas as we talk about more grooming mistakes to avoid. Please make sure you're not ignoring your hands and your feet. These are areas that guys often overlook. The problems most guys have with their hands and their feet: they get too dry and too rough, and they don't take the time to groom their fingers and toenails. Yes, it's okay to have strong hands, maybe an occasional callus on your hands and feet, but nobody said your hands and feet should be rough. What you want to make sure you do is keep both your hands and your feet moisturized, and keep those nails, both fingernails and toenails, clean, even, and trim. Nobody wants to lay next to a guy who's gonna be cutting up their shins with their toenails. Remember, the key things to keep in mind when it comes to your hands: softer the better, keep them moisturized, and definitely trim and groom those nails. Now, earlier in the video, I talked about how I think it's a great thing if you're sticking to a daily skincare routine. But if you are, I wanna make sure you're taking it to the next level. Make sure once or twice a week, you exfoliate your skin. Let me tell you a little bit about exfoliation. Exfoliation is when you use a scrub to get rid of the dead skin cells on the top layer of your skin. Here's what's happening: your body is consistently making younger and healthier skin cells below the surface. But over time, dead and old skin cells can accumulate on the top layer of your skin, not letting these newer, fresher skin cells come to the surface. That's why once or twice a week, you need to exfoliate your skin with the scrub. The scrub gets rid of those dead skin cells, letting those fresher, healthier skin cells come to the surface. And not only do I recommend you exfoliate the skin on your face, from time to time, use a body scrub to exfoliate the skin on the rest of your body. Now, next up, I have another overlooked area I want to remind you guys of when it comes to men's grooming. Make sure you're paying attention to that ear and nose hair. This is definitely an area that can really get out of control, especially for us OGs. One of the most unattractive mistakes you can make when it comes to grooming: having those extra long nose or ear hairs. And the problem gets worse as we get older. As we get older, the ear and nose hair tends to grow longer and thicker, but it's very easily to keep under control. I don't want you sticking scissors up your nose. Instead, grab yourself an ear and nose hair trimmer. An ear and nose hair trimmer is designed specifically for those hairs, and they're not that expensive. You can easily find them for around 10 bucks. What I recommend you do, every couple of weeks, do a check. Do you need to trim that nose and ear hair? If so, get to it. Now, next up is another area a lot of us guys just tend to neglect. That's why Uncle Jeff is here to remind you. You want to make sure you don't make the mistake of not having kissable lips. What I mean is, a lot of guys make the mistake of walking around with dry, cracked, or flaking lips. Want to talk about an unappealing grooming mistake? What woman wants to kiss a lip like that? And it's not that hard to keep them in line. One, make sure you're staying hydrated. Drink plenty of water. And of course, apply lip balm, especially during the colder months. When that temperature drops, your lips tend to dry up and crack up even more. It's great that you have that handsome face and that dazzling smile, but you want to make sure you complete the picture. Make sure you don't have dry, cracked lips. Apply some lip balm. Now next up is a grooming mistake I've been encouraging you guys to not make as much the last few months or so. It's really been on my radar. Do not make the mistake of taking too many hot showers. Now I get it, a long hot shower, it feels pretty good. I love how they feel as well. But they can be very damaging for your grooming, especially your skin. See, when you take a shower with real hot water, that hot water strips your skin of its natural oils, drying it out. That's why I recommend as often as you can taking cold showers. As opposed to hot showers, cold showers leave your skin much softer and much smoother. And there's also some other benefits when it comes to cold showers. They improve your alertness and your circulation. And after shampooing, rinsing your hair with cold water can be much better for your hair. In fact, I'm such a proponent of cold showers, I did a whole video on the pros of it. I'll leave a link in the description for your viewing pleasure. But if you want to improve your overall health, especially the health of your skin, try to cut down on those hot showers. Now next up is a grooming mistake I have to admit I've got caught up in a few times myself. That's getting stuck in a grooming rut. Here's what I mean. A lot of us guys, especially as we get older, we get stuck with the same styles, especially hairstyles and facial hair. And here's the thing, when you're younger and a certain grooming style works for you, you get very comfortable and you don't tend to change it. That can make you look dated whether you realize it or not. Next thing you look up, you've had the same hairstyle for decades. Let me use myself as an example. I wore a goatee from the age of 17 to my early 40s. I really thought I was killing it. And people around me were so used to it, they never mentioned it either. I was stuck in a grooming rut. So one day I decided to grow a full beard. And come to find out, I love it. Been wearing a full beard ever since. The thing is, I allowed myself to come out of a grooming rut. So if you've had the same hairstyle or facial hair for the last 20 years, it might be time to switch things up. Make a change. Don't get stuck in a grooming rut. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, your grooming is just as important as your style when it comes to looking your best. And if you make sure you avoid the 10 grooming mistakes we talked about in today's video, you'll be well on your way to a great looking 2022. Now, as always, I'd love to have your input. Let the Style O.G family know in the comment section if there are some grooming mistakes you feel like I left off today's list.